Hello everyone, I'm DearMYRTLE, your friend in genealogy, and by now you know that Myrt's journal is all about sharing ancestral stories in an interesting format. Previously, it's shown you this journal where I use paper to that I purchased at Michael's to make a very interesting folder to tell one anecdote on a variety of pull tabs and cards and things that are part of this design. But I want to talk to you about the paper and how I have evolved somewhat. at $1 or so a page, that gets pretty expensive. So I started scanning things and printing them on regular printer paper, very lightweight. You can see how flexible it is. And that was okay, except that sometimes, even with my very good art glitter glue, this would become wrinkly when I would put it on top of something in a journal. So I do occasionally use higher quality than this printing paper. We used to call it photocopy paper. What I normally use is something that's been recommended by a number of other paper cutting, crafting type people, and that is matte photo paper, which gets expensive, I admit, but then I can customize it. I'll show you a little bit in a bit. The next thing is to talk with you about coffee stained or tea dyed paper. Now, Mr. Myrt does have an 11 by 17 printer, so I do create this, but it takes a very large pan of the coffee water, very thick, in order to do something 11 by 17. But look at the intriguing designs we get. And so if this is a quarter of a page, it could be, it adds interest. It's not just the same old thing. Ooh, I like that on the back too. All right, and then this is wrapping paper. You can tell by the sound of it that it's fairly firm, way thicker than newsprint, probably about as thick as the matte photo printing paper. This is intriguing because of the color of it. And it could be used, say, on the back of this card instead of the coffee dyed paper. Anything's possible. All right, but I want to show you where to get some free images. Of course, there is Pinterest, and you got to be careful, but I went to the New York Public Library website because I wanted to see what they had. I'd heard about it, and I found these delightful images in a collection. Let's see if I can say the fellow's name. Ariyoshi Kondo. I can say Kondo because of Marie. And I got to tell you, all this brings me joy. And I'm going to use some of these in a new journal that I'm going to make. You can see that I printed them in different sizes, including these, which make nice journal cards to tuck in a little tuck spot. Some of them are half page. Look at this. This is just gorgeous. And I have printed these on that photo printing paper. In fact, there's one journal, and these all say free for use without restriction at the New York Public Library's digital collection. And I just searched for Japan. Here's full size for the cover and then double pages from this individual's work. Now let me see who this was. Oh my gosh, look at the shading. Look at the detail. Just incredible work. Let's take this one since we can use it, and I'll show you what I would do with it. Just for an example. Okay, logically, I think this is where the writing goes. we can fold it in that midpoint. And also I need to trim a little bit here. What I'm going to do is make this a cover for a soft page journal. And we shall do it. But what should we put on the reverse side? Now, it's possible that I could have printed this reverse side with coffee dyed paper or tea dyed paper, but I think I'll just use some right here, some that I'd shown you before. I'll put it on both sides. And what I will need to do is use my glue, get around all the edges. And this is really step one of my New York Public Library's Japanese journal. I'm very intrigued by this watercolor artist. In fact, well, any kind of watercoloring looks pretty cool to me. Okay, I just used some acid-free, permanent, photo-safe, and non-toxic Elmer's Craft Bond. And let's see where we want this, which side I would prefer. Oh, I want that one to be up. So we'll put this on the back. And hopefully, there we go, I'm slightly crooked. Okay, and to take the wrinkles out, if there are any, just use an old credit card to press down over it. A little wrinkling doesn't matter because it adds to the intrigue. And that's where we go. So here's what I'm going to do next off camera, and then we'll come to part 2 in a separate video. I'm going to trim off the coffee stained paper, and then I'm going to stitch on my sewing machine all the way around. And I'll be back in just a few moments. Nothing left to say but happy family tree climbing, everybody, and journal making. That's a wrap.